Alright, so we are going to do some character stuff. Okay? Who in here wants to be an animator? Okay, cool. Who in here doesn't know necessarily what they want to do but likes characters or anything character related? Alright, cool. Who in here has played a video game that had characters in it? Awesome. Alright, so characters are a big part of video games. Typically you have characters, you have levels. What are some other big parts of video games? Weapons. What else you guys got for me?
Puzzles. Music. Story. Environment.
Thanks, Andrew.
I
No.
like that level above that.
That's level.
Not really. I wouldn't say that's different.
So when we're talking about video games, we're talking about the production of a video game. So some big things in production are characters, levels,
Story.
not story, because somebody can just write a story pretty quick. Things that take a long time to make is kind of what I'm getting at. Programming code. Those are things that take a long time to do. And so those are some of kind of the first things that we're going to focus on, and we'll probably focus on them in that order. So we'll probably do characters, levels, do levels next time, and then we'll do programming code the next time, and then we get into some other technical stuff that is bananas. But all right, so as I told you guys last time, we are going to be making a game in here as a team, but we're not going to be creating assets. So we won't be creating animations. We won't be creating characters from scratch. We won't be, we won't be creating things. We're going to be taking stuff that already exists and putting it together like Legos. Remember when I gave the Legos analogy? Go to the store, you buy a box of Legos to build a ship, and it already comes with exact amount of Legos you need to build that ship, right? That's what we're going to do. So today, all right, everybody open up an internet browser. Let's do Chrome. Everybody, same browser. That way we can all diagnose issues at the same time. And we are going to go to one of my favorite websites, Mixamo. So everybody Google Mixamo, Mixamo. And go ahead and log in. You may need to create an account. They have many social sign-ins here which you can use if you have an iPhone, Facebook, or Google, or you can use a pre-existing Adobe account, or you can create a new account. Either way, you're going to need an account.
Through either school or whatever,
Okay, so I'm going to say what I just said one more time, all right? You can use any one of these social sign-ins or create a new account. And guys, look to your left and look to your right. The person sitting to your left and the person sitting to your right are your friend, okay? This is going to be a very technical exercise, and we're all working together here to get to the same goal, okay? If you have a question, there's like 25 of you guys in here. It's much easier for you to get your answer and than to ask for my help than it is for you to just lean over to your neighbor and say, hey, what was that last step that he said? So the person sitting to your left, the person sitting to your right, you have permission to ask them at any time for help, okay? And then if you find yourself needing a lot of help, then of course you can grab me. But we're all friends here. We're all on the same team. Okay. Mixamo is a character and animation library. Okay, what's really cool about this program, what I really like is it has many different features to it from beginning and advanced. The other really cool thing I like about Mixamo is that everything in here is free, and you can use everything. You can use everything for your own games and your own work, and there's no like royalties or anything. It's pretty awesome. So if you're making your own game, you can use all this stuff. And the animation library is super deep, which is really cool. So to come onto Mixamo and to grab an animation and put it on a character in your game takes a lot less time than to create a character from scratch, rig the character, and animate the character. I promise you, I've been doing animation for a long time, and using pre-existing animation assets is like ridiculous, okay? Also, go ahead and minimize Mixamo and go to your desktop and launch the Epic Games Launcher. Okay, on your desktop it's called the Epic Games Launcher. And I just want to say that we're going to be using a program called Unreal. And this program is free. You can download it at home. Our game development pipeline that we're going to be using here allows you to work from home as well on your home computer. Yes?
When I launched the Epic Games Launcher, it had a sign-in for C. Kura and no password.
Yeah, so you guys are going to want to use your own account. Okay, again, it has social sign-ins, Xbox, PlayStation, and something, and I guess that's Switch. Or you can create an Epic account. Most of you guys in here have played Fortnite? Who in here has played Fortnite? Let me see some hands. If you've played Fortnite, you have an Epic account. Anyway, this is the website for this. It's Unreal Engine. It's free. You can download it at home. Okay. Download button, upper right hand corner. Etc. Okay.
Do we put a school email or personal?
Just link like a Google account or something to it. Yeah, I just linked my Xbox Live. What's free right now?
I have 3 new friend requests. That's cool. People like me.
Fun thing about Epic Games Launcher is they have like a free game every couple weeks.
Yeah, they also have free content, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And what's cool about the free content, I don't know about the games, but you can actually keep the content, which is awesome. They offer it for free. You can just store it in your library.
It's the same with the games as well. You just pick them up and they're there forever.
That's awesome.
I don't think I've ever purchased anything on Epic, but I have like 30 games on here.
You know, it's interesting. I wonder how they sell that to the developers. I think it would probably go something along the lines of,
I
it's
think
good
they give them money
exposure.
for it.
Huh?
I think they give them money for it. Because they pay them a lot of money to get them exclusive on the platform. So they're already throwing money at developers.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
What, who Epic pays developers?
Epic pays developers like large exclusive amounts so that their game is just on Epic Launcher and not on any other platform like Steam.
For at least a certain amount of
For
time.
like a year is usually their contract, and then
That's
after
how
the
they're
year
trying
is
to
up.
build their platform to compete with them.
Yeah. So it might be the same thing where they offer them like
That's
a
interesting.
contract deal. To
I did not know
get their
that. That's
game for
pretty
free.
cool. I mean, exclusive deals have been around for a long time, but and I know Epic has a lot of money.
So what they usually do is offer them a bigger cut of profit, like for purchases of their game on their store. Store.
Oh,
and,
that's interesting.
Like way higher than Steam does.
Well, they don't. I mean, yeah, that's interesting. All right, everybody logged in. I still hear typing on the keyboard. And guys, hey, in the front up there, if you're not talking about what we need you to talk about here, please. It's hard for me to talk over you, so let's not do that, okay? Definitely quiet while I'm lecturing, please. All right, so most of you have this open. The reason why I wanted you to come here, go ahead and click on Marketplace at the top. And this is pretty cool. Click on, I guess, Cave Troll Lightweight, if you can see that.
I don't have it.
Cave troll.
Yeah, Cave Troll Lightweight. That's pretty cool. So, so this is an example of like an asset that you can like download and use for your game. Not sure if this has any animations. Oh yeah, it does. It has 50 different animations. So that's pretty cool. So like this would be a character that you could like download and use on your game. And it tells you here it's got materials, textures, 50 different animations, and optimized LODs, which is pretty cool. My point in telling you guys all this is that, so we're going to use Mixamo today, which is an animation library. And at the top in Mixamo, you can click on characters, and there's different characters as well. So it's a character library. But in Unreal, which is the program that we're going to be using to make our game, it also has a massive library. So you can go to characters, browse characters in the marketplace, and you can see a massive amount of characters that you can get and use in any of the games you want to make. Is everybody with me? Okay, please pay attention. We're not really doing much right now. We're just talking. See, you got all these characters. You can also click browse, and there's tons more assets in here. As you can see, there's code, plugins, environments, materials, everything you need, visual effects, weapons, textures, sound effects, props, music, everything you need in here to make a game. Okay. Now, granted, you have to buy it. There is some free stuff. You can come over here. Let's see. Filter results. Buy free. All this stuff's free. Look, I can get scanned 3D people pack. That's cool. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and get that, because you never know when you'll need it, right? Add that to my account. Now, I just added that to my account, so now I'm going to come up in here and click library, and I can look down in here in my library, and I have all this stuff. I have so much cool stuff in here, and they always offer free stuff. We were talking about that earlier. Whenever they offer free stuff, games and stuff, you want to just go ahead and download, or assets like this, you want to go ahead and download it, because you get to keep it for infinity, and you can use it on any games that you want. I'm going to click on Marketplace again here. Oh, I'll go back to library. So as you can see right now, we're using engine number 4.22.3 in this class. If you're going to be working at home, you need to make sure that you have installed the exact same version that we have in this classroom. We do not update versions in term, so we'll have to wait till the next term to update versions. And Epic usually updates their version at least once a month. Or I'm sorry, at least once during our term. And everybody always wants to update it, but it's like, it's It's just we just don't. All right, that's not how our IT works here. So
Can we revert versions if you download the wrong one?
what you can do is there's a little plus button here, and then you can use this little arrow, and you can like if they had released a later version by the time you come out to, like actually they have, here's the latest version, 4.2.1, right? But we're not going to install that. So for example, you'd come back down in here and install the version that we have, which is 4.22.3. And it's like anything else. Yeah, anyway, this is the version we're using because that's what we got. So
Is there, not that we use it, but is there access to Unreal 3, 2, and 1 on here, or is it just Unreal 4?
we only use Unreal 4. All right. Okay, so we'll go ahead and in the actually, let's minimize this. Let's go back to mixamo. All right, so in mixamo, what we're going to do is our goal for today is we are going to take a character and we're going to put it in the game. We're going to take a character from mixamo and put it in the game and give it an animation set. And actually, sorry, let's go back to Unreal. And what I want you to do is we want to launch. Okay, so click any yellow button that says launch 4.22.3. Okay. We're going to launch the engine. And as you can see in the background, it's launching the Unreal Editor. Who in here has used Unreal Editor before by any chance? Okay, a couple people. That's awesome.
I have more experience than you do.
Who in here has used Microsoft Word to write stuff? Who in here has used another program besides Microsoft Word to write stuff? Okay.
Google Docs.
Google Docs is great. All right, so that is a program that is used to create documents. This is a program that is used to create video games. Same thing, right? All right, so what we're going to do is when you launch the engine, this screen comes up here. All right, everybody with me? Instead of projects here, click New Project. And this is the process for creating a new project, okay? And as you can see, you have a bunch of different templates here, which this is awesome. This is the future of gaming. Back in my day when I was working at video game companies, we had to create video games from scratch. Nowadays, we have like templates. So as you can see, it's like first person flying, handheld AR, puzzle, rolling, side scroller, first person's in there, virtual reality. And what's cool is these templates allow you to start with a lot of pre-existing code, which helps you get farther faster. Back in the day, we had to do all that stuff from scratch. All right, so we're going to do a third person. Where is it? Third person. Okay, so go ahead and click that. Third person template. And there's a little description over here to the right. And what we're going to do is these programs have a D drive on there, which is the storage drive. Okay, and this is where we store all of our student stuff. So go ahead and click on My Computer. I want you guys to make your own folder in the D drive, okay, on the desktop. So on the desktop is a My Computer icon. Go ahead and click that. And I want you to right-click in any white space, New Folder. Okay, make a new folder on the D drive and call that your name.
Oh, my C# stuff is still on here.
Now, one thing about these computers, I may have mentioned it, these computers have something called deep freeze on them. And what that means is every time this computer reboots, anything that touches the C drive, anything that you put in the C drive or on the desktop goes away. Okay, so don't put anything on the desktop and reboot the computer and expect it to still be there. It won't. This folder that we're creating on the D drive should be there, okay? But just take in mind, everybody has access to the D drive, so it's not really secure. So the best thing to do is to always back up your work on your own portable hard drive or on remote storage like Google Drive or Dropbox every day, okay? But this, in general, nobody messes with this stuff. So if you have a folder on here, nobody's going to mess with it. Yes?
For the USB, what size description does it have?
Um,
I have 64 right here.
gig?
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good. Something like a 32, 64.
I got a 32. Thanks.
Yeah, you should be okay. Anything under 32, I wouldn't mess with, because these are a lot of files. Okay, so you got your folder created, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna save that this project in that folder. So where it says My Project 2, let's go ahead and call that Character Demo. And what you're going to do is you're going to click those three dots and change the location from C:\user student documents to your folder. So go ahead and navigate to your folder and select that. Okay. And when you're done, go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and explain these other things here. There's some drop downs. We're not going to mess with those, but as you can see, you can select whether it's a desktop or a mobile game. There's quality differences here, maximum quality, which is what we're going to do. Guess this is scalable 3D or 2D. To be honest with you, I don't know what that means, but probably means what it sounds like. And then with or without starter content. Starter content is stuff like, they have like pre-existing textures and stuff in here, like wood or tile or brick, you know, stuff like that gets used in most projects. They kind of give you some of that to start with. If you're creating a project from scratch and you're going to use all your own stuff and you don't want to use their stuff, you can get rid of that. We just don't even care right now, so we're just going to hit Create Project. Again, make sure you're on third person and click Create Project. All right, everybody with me? Yes. Can somebody help him? So I can't see your screen because I'm way over here. Okay, what does that red say down there in the corner? What does that mean to you? Sounds like you have a space in your name. Do you have an extra space in your name? Can somebody help him?
Yeah, there's a space in the name.
All right, you guys. This is the Unreal Engine, okay? As you can see, this is your main view here. You can use all three mouse buttons to move around in the main view. Left mouse button kind of pans around. Middle mouse button moves around, and right mouse button rotates the view. Okay. If you hold Alt on your keyboard, some different things happen with the mouse buttons. There's a zoom, and also the mouse wheel zooms. And then also, everybody in here's played video games, hopefully on a keyboard. W, S, A, and D. If you hold any of the mouse buttons and use W, S, A, and D, it will move around like you're flying around in a video game. Okay, so hold a mouse button and then use W, S, A, and D on your keyboard. Or to gamers, it would be called WASD. WASD. Alright, that's how you move around. Okay, so up at the top, go ahead and hit play. Up at the top, there's a play button.
Do you see the save content button? Go from there to the right.
Alright, so once you hit play, you can use WASD again and the mouse button to move around, just like a third-person game. Guys, up at the front, please, I don't want to have to talk over you while I'm lecturing, alright? Don't want to say it again. Yeah, there's no sprint by default. All right, so if you're in play mode here, go ahead and tap F11. If you're in play mode, go ahead and hit F11. That's full screen. Okay. Spacebar is jump. Now, while you're in full screen mode, go ahead and tap Escape on your keyboard. Okay. While you're in full screen mode, tap Escape on your keyboard, and that's going to take you back into fly around mode. Okay. Now, when you're in fly around mode, you see all these things in the scene, like the camera, player start, some lights, and some other things. If you tap G on your keyboard, it's going to remove all those items, and G is what we call game mode, okay? So that would be like how you're viewing things in the game, right? If you tap G again, it's going to bring back the development items, okay? Now, while I'm in full screen mode here in fly around mode, if you tap Alt-P, that's going to take you back to play mode. Alt-P will take you back to play mode. Okay? So now, go ahead and hit F11 to pop back out of full screen mode, and then click Escape to stop. Okay? So that's how you kind of get in and out of stuff. Alright, so that character that was moving around, as you can see, it already had, you know, some animations and stuff. And let's go ahead and down here in content, this is where all the files are for the game, okay? So what we're going to do is go ahead and click on content, and then to the far left, there's a little thing that says show or hide the sources panel. Go ahead and click on that. It's 3 little lines. And we are going to find the mannequin in here. See the mannequin? And we have character, materials, mesh, textures, and we also have animations. So go ahead and click on animations and double click on any one of those animations. All right.
Going too fast.
All right. So it opens up another panel here. And what I like to do is you can grab this tab instead of having multiple panels. Grab the tab and drag the tab up into your main window. Okay. That way you can just switch back and forth with tabs instead of having to like pull a window down, right? So this is the character, I don't even know what this thing's called. The name of it's called Persona. It's the character editor, right? And in the upper right hand corner, you can see different facets of the character pipeline here in Unreal. You have animation, which we are on. There's mesh, skeleton, and blueprint, and physics. Okay, physics is like how like ragdoll's handled, and also like player collision and things like that. As you can see, here's the physics volumes. Blueprint is like the code and state machines of like how this thing moves and what animations are connected to making it move and stuff. Animation is obviously the animations. Mesh is like the mesh of the character, its materials. And skeleton is the different bones and joints that are inside this character that make it move around. Okay, so all these different aspects are what make up a character, and you can switch the different departments. Okay, we're going to focus on animation right now, so go ahead and click on animation, and as you can see in the bottom right here, there is some animations, and you can click on those and you can see them, and these animations are connected to the character, that when he moves around, when we move him around, it plays these animations. So you have jump, third person idle, third person jump end, loop, start, run, and walk. Okay. Alright, so here's our list of animations here. We need a walk, a run, a start, a jump series here of start, loop, an end, and then an idle. What we're going to do is, see, the cool thing about Unreal is you can actually, we started with a third-person project, so we got this third-person project where characters run around and stuff. We can swap out new stuff for stuff that's already in the game. So what we're going to do is we are going to swap out a new character for this guy. Okay? So we need these animations. So the first thing we're going to need is an idle animation. Alright? So what we're going to do is minimize Unreal, go back to Mixamo, and we are going to choose a character to swap out for the mannequin. Okay? And I really want you guys to all choose the same character so that if we have any issues, we can debug that character.
I vote Joe.
Who's Joe?
Let's find out who Joe is.
He's a businessman.
That's pretty
I don't know. It's the first
boring,
one I saw
man.
when I looked at him.
You can go back
Why
to
not him?
Oh, did you not log in again?
Oh, that was from.
Go to browse characters. Or browse animation, it can be. Yeah, maybe open and close it.
I like Megan.
You know what? We're going to use Jolene. I've decided.
That's close to Joe.
Not even close. But she's cool, though. So everybody find Jolene. Go ahead and click on Jolene here until she loads.
Oh god.
Jolleen. Yes, sir? Sorry?
I didn't help you get into that.
You need to log in, sir. Upper right hand corner.
Like he is logged in, it's not letting him through. Like he clicks on browse characters, browse animation, it's not taking him anywhere.
Are you using Chrome?
He's using Internet Explorer. Use Chrome.
Do you remember when I said use Chrome? Guys, gotta listen to me, man. We're not gonna make any progress. Alright, so once you choose Jolene, then she has been chosen. So now in the upper area, click on animations, and you're going to go into the search here and type the word idle. And then use the little search or tap enter on your keyboard. Now go ahead and click on the different animations, the different idle animations. I honestly don't care which one you use. Just what I wouldn't do is use one like this that's some sort of a pose, you know? Like I would use something more standard like this. And I'll say probably the closer the stuff you choose to what I choose, the better this tutorial is going to end up for you. Just some general advice. Alright, so when you see a character and you see an animation on a character, that means the orange button in the upper right hand corner, whatever you see will download. Okay? As you can see, it says idle here. There's a little X. You can close this animation off if you want and choose a different one. And then there's some controls to the bottom right here. You can adjust these controls. That's pretty cool. Like one's kind of more of an action-oriented pose when you adjust the stance. And the other one's more of a standing pose. Considering we're probably going to be moving around a lot, I would say we want to be more of an action pose. You can also speed it up with overdrive. You can increase the character arm space. And you can trim it, but we're going to use the trim feature on some other animations, so don't really mess with that. Once you have the animation on the character like this, make sure you're looking at an animation. Go ahead and click download. And now it's time to download this animation. So we want to keep it as FBX. As you can see, when you click on FBX here, there's some different ones. FBX for Unity, Collada. Just keep it on regular FBX. When we're downloading animations, we want to make sure we download without skin. Okay? And what that means is it's not going to download the character. It's just going to download the animation data. Okay? We want to keep it at about 30 frames per second, and we don't want any keyframe reduction. So go ahead and click download, and voila, we have downloaded the animation. Okay, so again, we've just downloaded animation data right now. We actually haven't downloaded the actual character, so we need to do that. Okay, right now we are viewing an animation. So if we click download, it's going to download an animation. Let's go ahead and turn the animation off by clicking X on where to the right of idle. So the character's in a T pose. And with yes, T pose for dominance. So when the character's in a T pose like this, as you can see, there's no animation playing. So that means when we click the download button, it's going to download the character. Okay, so we have to do that too. So go ahead and click download. Again, make sure it's not playing an animation. So again, we're going to keep it at regular FBX. We're going to keep it at T-pose is fine. And go ahead and click download. All right. One down and a few to go. All right, so we'll start it off with a walk. So go back up to your animation search, type in walk. Now we need a walk animation for Missy here. Now the thing about Unreal is when you're doing movement animations, we want them in place. Okay, we can't actually have it walking forward. The forward motion for a character in the game is handled by code, and what that means is the code says travel from point A to point B over this amount of time and keep going. We don't want that forward motion in the animation. So what we want to do is there's a little checkbox at the bottom there that says in place. So make sure you check that checkbox that says in place, so she walks in place. This is very, very important. The checkbox is at the bottom of the animation options on the right. It says in place. I'm going to say it one more time because it never fails. Somebody's always not listening, and then they end up having to go back and re-get the animation. Please make her walk in place. Okay, there's a little checkbox right down here at the bottom. Alright, so again, the same rule. If you're viewing her playing an animation, when you click the download button, it's going to download the what? The animation, that's right. So again, same settings. It says skin. We want to change that to without skin. We can keep all the same settings. When we change that to without skin, it only downloads what we need, which is the animation data. If we have it download skin as well, it's going to download a bunch of extra character data that we don't need. Okay? So characters are handled different than animations in video game engines. They're not the same thing. The animation is what makes it move. The character is the actual geometry and skin weighting information. Alright, so go ahead and click download. And now we have our walk. Alright, next up is going to be the run. Let's go ahead and go to run. Same process as the walk. We need it in place, and we need to download it without skin. So let's go ahead and find her a run. Alright. Make sure you check the little box that says in place. Very important.
That's the one I downloaded.
Yes. Probably at the top. Would you search for it?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I would not be surprised if you see animation assets in here that you feel like you've seen in other games. I would not be surprised. I feel like the industry is starting to move towards beyond the big studios that create everything from scratch, totally custom games. Especially when you kind of get into more of the indie realm, you're going to start to see shared assets among games. I have seen the same level pack in multiple games on Steam and otherwise. Alright, so you got your run animation here. We're going to go ahead and click download to get it without skin. The settings should have saved. Go ahead and click download. Alright. So those were pretty easy. The next ones are going to be a little bit more difficult because we're going to have to do a little animation trim work. Okay? So I'm back here in Unreal, and I'm looking at how the animation is treated for jump. Okay, I've got my little player down here. I can tap play, and I can see how the character jumps. Now down here I'm looking at how many animation frames it has, and it looks like there's about 13 animation frames. Okay, 13 frames. And it looks like what happens here is the character's already in motion, jumps up, and then comes to a hang within 13 frames. Alright? So we're going to do the same thing. So let's go up to search and find jump. So we're just going to kind of trim the animation to as close to what looks like going on here as possible, just to keep kind of things consistent. So let's find a jump. Something that starts from in motion. And I'm going to go ahead and use this one here. It looks kind of funny, but where'd that go? There's an in place button on this one. Alright, so again, 13 frames. So when I look down here, it says 0 to 30 frames, okay? And so all you're going to do with this one is just grab the trim, the end of the trim one, and pull that down until it says 13 frames. So all she's going to be doing is jumping up in the air and then stopping in the air. Okay? It's going to look like this. So all we're doing is just trimming it to 13 frames. You can even click on, I believe, no you can't. That's all she's doing. 0, 13 is what I should say. Alright, let's go ahead and download that without skin. Alright. Alright, so what we're going to do is we need a jump land. Okay? And I'm going to go ahead and look at what they have in Unreal here. Jump end is what it's called. And jump end's very fast. It's 5 frames. And it's the guy is almost about to touch the ground and then just sort of compresses. Okay, it's very, very fast. And it's done in about 5 frames. So we're going to do the same thing. And let's go ahead and use that same animation, okay? And her arm is like way back there, which I actually don't like. But I don't know if we have any other options. Actually, we do. There's one down here called jumping. You guys see this one here? It's called jumping. Looks like this. Go ahead and click that one. It's got a pretty nice end compression. And what I want you to do is use the trim feature to just get that end compression of just 5 frames. So basically it's going to be like she's about to land to compress in like 5 frames. You can do 6, that's fine, doesn't matter. So as you can see here, if you look up here, you can see what I've done. So she's about to land, and then she just compresses in about, I got about 6 frames on here. It really doesn't, you're 1 or 2 frames off, it's okay, it doesn't matter. About to hit the ground, compress. The engine will automatically loop between animations, so it'll give you a little bit of a loop, a 5-frame loop or so from this compression animation back to run or walk or whatever you're doing. So there's a little bit of forgiveness. It doesn't have to be perfect. Alright, so we got this land that happens. Mine's about 6 frames again. Alright, let's go ahead and download it. Click the orange button in the corner without skin. Alright, and that is all we're going to need from her. So now, go ahead and minimize your browser. And
we need a like falling loop animation.
we do, but I'm going to show you a different way to do that. Yeah, any of the other stuff we're gonna get a different way. All right, so minimize your browser, open up My Computer on your desktop, and let's go ahead and find those animations. And they are located under Favorites, called Download. Okay, they have gone into your Download folder. All right, and what we want to do is we want to rename some of these so they make more sense when we import them. For example, the character's name is CH34 non-PBR. What was that character's name? Jolie or something? Jolene. Jolleen. So let's rename that to Jolene. Jolleen. Okay. Idle's fine. Go ahead and rename Jump to Jump Start. Jump Start, okay. And name, running is fine, walking is fine. Go ahead and rename Jumping to, that is Jump End. Okay, jumping will be called Jump End. If you downloaded different animations than me, you just want to clean up the name so it makes sense to you. If you don't know which ones you downloaded or don't remember, go back to Mixamo and figure it out. Just make sure that you understand which one is your character, which is the jump start, which is the jump end, which is your idle, run, and walk, okay? Just make sure you understand those. And if you want, you can open up another My Computer, navigate to your D drive, find your name, whatever the folder that you were in, and you can like make a new folder. What did we call this one? Character demo. Yeah, inside your folder, you can make a new folder, and you can call it like Jolene or something. And you can move those files to your Jolene folder inside your folder. That way you don't have to worry about them being in downloads. And you have a copy of them. Yes, sir.
Should we email this to ourselves via the class? If we want to work on it at home or something?
To be honest with you, emailing yourself files is like not a good practice. The better thing to do is, have you ever heard of Google Drive?
Yeah, I've always used it.
Have you ever heard of Dropbox? Have you heard of Microsoft OneDrive? Those are some pretty common. That's what that's for. Email is like not file storage. All right, cool. So we got our files here. All right, so let's jump back into Unreal. And what I want you to do is go back into your main window here. And what we are going to do is click on Content on the left. And we're going to make a new folder by right-clicking an empty space in Content. Right-click, New Folder at the top. And call that Jolene. Remember, if you are stuck or lost, ask your neighbor. If you find yourself needing more help or getting stuck, and you like not sitting next to people that can help you, next class, sit next to people that can help you.
He accidentally opened up an animation thing and he can't exit out of it. I'm not sure how to help.
Is it my computer frozen on the tab?
It would take a long time.
Sir, can I ask you a question?
Make it
How do you keep
unreadable.
finding yourself in situations?
We're doing that. And then just
It would take a long time. It would take a long time. Of course, thank you for the that experience. That was an excellent
All right, you guys, we have our Jolene folder under content. Go inside that folder. We're going to use the import button, middle left of the screen. Navigate to your Jolene folder in your folder on the D drive. Click Jolene file and click open. All right. And then just go ahead and click import. Alright, so all we've done is under content, I've made a new folder called Jolene. Inside that folder, I've clicked the import button in Unreal, and I went and navigated to either your downloads folder or wherever you have your files. I put mine under my name in a folder called Jolene, and click the Jolene file, which we've renamed, and import it into Unreal. Go ahead and click import, import, import until you get it in there. If you're having issues, please ask the person sitting next to you. Alright, so we have Jolene in here. Now, it's imported a bunch of different files here, okay? And they are all, each file in Unreal, it has a color bar at the bottom, and they're all different files. You can mouse over in them and see the red tabbed files are textures, okay? The pink tabbed file is the character. I don't even know what that color is, beige or something, that's physics. Then you have light blue, which is the skeleton, and the material is green, okay? Yeah, green, okay. So now what we're going to do is we have the character in the game, or the character is imported now. We need to, we're going to do a crazy process, okay? Go ahead and double click on the character, which is the pink tab here. So by the way, you should only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 files. If you find yourself having more than 8 files under the Jolene folder, we need to just go ahead and delete those. select all the files, click delete, and then just re-import your files. What it means is you've double imported your files. Just click import one time so you only have 6 files. If you have more than 6 files,
What if I also imported the animation?
don't import animations. I didn't tell you to do that. 7 files. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 files. That's all you want. Okay? Otherwise, you're going to have some problems. If you imported any other files, delete them. That's not the process we're going to do with this. All right, cool. So when you double click on Jolene, you can see her in here. Again, drag the tab up into the corner. She looks very colorful, which is awesome. Unreal has an amazing renderer right off the bat. Their lighting system is amazing. Anyway, so when you notice up in the right, when you click on Jolene, what is missing? Animations. What else? Blueprint, which is the code. Yeah, really animation and blueprint is missing. Okay. And what that means is there is no code in place to make her do anything, and there is no animations in place for her to play. Okay? So she is just a static character. That's all we've imported. Alright? Alright, go ahead and close out of that. Let's go back into the Jolene folder. And what we're going to do now is a process called, I actually don't know, can't recall the name of the process, but go ahead and click on the mannequin folder on the left. And we want to, let's see, go into the animations folder under mannequin. We're going to do a process called retargeting. That's the word I was looking for. And what that is what it does is it takes all the animation code and everything from the mannequin here and is going to push it onto our new character model. Basically so we can reuse a lot of that stuff so we can save time. Alright? Now in Unreal there's another color-coded thing on the far left called the third-person anim BP. And what that is it's what we call an animation blueprint, which is animation code. Okay? So go ahead and right-click on that. And the animation code is connected to the animations. So by retargeting the animation code, it's going to also retarget all of the animations. If that makes sense. So when you right-click on that, at the top you'll see something that says Retarget Anim Blueprints. And then to the right of that is another place where you can select called Duplicate Anim Blueprints and Retarget. Go ahead and click that. And if you don't see it, just look up at the screen and you can see where I'm at here. Is everybody with me? This is kind of a place that you want to be at, or else you're going to get real lost going forward. So it'd be good if everybody's with me here. Okay, what's up? Can somebody help him? What is that? Okay. Is it stuck?
Dude, everything from the Jolene folder?
Alright. So go to the left, the mannequin animations, and then where it says third person anim BP to the left, right click, and look up at the screen and do what I'm doing. Got it? Alright. Everybody should be on this screen here. Okay, so this screen's very simple. We have the mannequin on the left, which is the source, and then we have the target on the right, which is going to be Jolene, right? Now the problem is we don't see Jolene on the right, and the reason we don't see her is because the skeleton for the mannequin is different from the skeleton that Jolene has. So there's a checkbox at the bottom where it says show only compatible skeletons. Go ahead and turn that off, and you'll notice when you turn that off, on the left the Jolene skeleton pops up. You can go ahead and select that. Now there's a button at the bottom called retarget. Once Jolene's skeleton is selected, go ahead and click retarget. Alright, so that just basically retargeted everything from the mannequin over to Jolene. Now one thing we want to do is where it says third person anim BP for Jolene, you want to rename it from third person to Jolene. Okay? And you don't necessarily need to rename all the animations to the right of that, but you definitely want to rename the BP. Okay, so it says Jolene anim BP. That's critical. All right. Alright guys, next step here, in your Jolene folder on the left, right click, make a new folder, and call it animations. Or animation is fine. What's up, Vince? Because they're all stressing, that's why. I'm just kidding. Good for you. You have caught me in the middle of a lecture, sir. We still do these. Alright, so we have the animation folder here. What I want you to do is pull all these files that were under the content folder for Jolene into that animation folder. So you see click on content, shift select all those files, look at your animation folder on the left for Jolene, drag and drop into that. And you want to use move here, not copy. So drag all the new Jolene content files that we retargeted into the Jolene animation directory that we just created. We are moving, not copying. So when you do that, Unreal keeps track of where you move it to, and it makes a note of that everywhere that's important. Isn't that right, Vince?
Yeah. I'm going to catch up with you when you're not lecturing.
Okay. Cool. See you, man.
Like in 3 weeks.
Right? Try 6. Yum. Alright, man. Alright, so we got our animations moved over. Are we still waiting on people? It's okay to ask questions now. In fact, you know what? Let's take a 5-minute break, a bathroom break, or whatever we need to do, and just make sure everybody can get caught up here.
How do we move it all at once?
Shift select everything. Control shift select and then drag it over. We are taking a 5-minute break for people to catch up, y'all. If you need help, grab somebody. We're all friends.
We drag the retargeted files to animations, right?
Yes. Say again.
Do we delete these and then move the?
You don't delete anything.
Because it said the rest of the file can be renamed or moved there.
I didn't say to delete anything.
I
Just move stuff.
Okay, so don't move it into the man object. Just move it to your jolt configuration as folder. So,
Oh. Yeah, it won't move for me. Oh, do you? Where? Oh, this one. I didn't realize these that you moved over to animation, but there's already stuff in here. And those can be replaced by these ones. So you can make all of them do it. I don't know why it's not familiar with everything. Do I have to make another folder in animation?
You make another folder within the folder.
Okay.
What's up? How are you?
Everyday in paradise.
Right?
Yeah. So I'm trying to do my GitHub. I've got the whole repository set up. I've got it to where I can push and pull. I can't remember how we set the Unreal Engine up and then the Maya. I was going to go ahead and set all those things up into the repository so that I can just go from one thing to the other. And basically, my partner over in Oklahoma, pretty much what we did here in class last semester. Like where we can just share all the.
1 second, man. Give me a second here. Somebody's blowing me up.
You get it.
Yeah,
Just 2 seconds.
Oh, you're good, man. I know how it is.
make a new folder for collecting your images and then building. Or this stuff it is. Make a folder for animation and it just shows all the ones. Don't move. You meant just the character models. Yeah. No, just animation. You don't have the animations in here. You move the Yonimo and then run the animation and run this one. Yeah, she's not looking too hot over there. You don't have the camera on her. Her neck is just cracked.
I'm sure we'll get some.
Yeah. You're gonna move this speed up. Okay, I think once you made it, you go back to content. I was thinking somebody's done this. Yeah, I think the one you click move to animation delete should be right here still.
Alright, sorry. Emergency.
One.
How can I help you, sir?
GitHub.
GitHub.
I've got the man.
Your hair looks good.
Thanks.
You
Yeah,
can
good
get a
job.
bit longer.
Yeah,
Good. Looks good on you.
Back to normal. So.
Back to normal. How's your computer?
I'm a hippie, dude.
Still rocking and rolling?
Man, alright, so I got this HJack virus, and it fucking attacked my software. Apparently this virus can somehow get into your processor and destroy your processor or something like that. Not
The only way it could do
sure.
that is if it's like running crazy
Dude,
weird
like,
cycles or something.
It was like I had deleted this thing out of literally every file in my computer.
Okay.
Like it had just spread itself like a fucking spider web. And by the time I got
Do you have a internet security on there?
now I do, yeah. I didn't realize that he didn't when I bought it. He had the base antivirus, but it wasn't set up to automatically run, so it slipped right
Well,
past my
Windows internet security is pretty robust. if you have that all set up and running, do you have Windows 10?
Yeah. Yeah. Now I'm doing Spybot and Bitdefender and Malware Defender, and I run those every day.
All right. So
But-
GitHub, walk me through
so
it.
GitHub. Got the repository set up. I've got it to where I believe I can push and pull the information between me and Buddy.
I'm recording. I forgot.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oops.
It's okay. It didn't hurt.
So basically with the GitHub, I need. Okay, so I'm trying to put Maya, Houdini, Unreal, and everything that I'm going to be using for animation and level design into the GitHub so that we can just do it like how we did in this class. Just quick push pull, get into whatever project I'm into. When are you actually going to be available? Like, so I'm not pushing your time. You know what I mean? Like, can I get you for probably 30 minutes this weekend on a phone call? Just to set up, like, I have everything done. We can do video chat or whatever for.
I may have videos on how to set all that up.
I thought you did. I just couldn't find them.
So what are you trying to set up a new project?
Yeah. Well, I was honestly gonna just take our project and delete everything out of the GitHub, but I didn't want to do that because it might.
You know what? Actually,
So we're gonna copy our GitHub.
copy out of GitHub.
Like, we'll basically copy the way that we had our files set up. Like, just copy all the say blank files with the Git where it pushes certain files.
So
out.
is this a brand new project?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just basically need to learn how to set up a brand new project from scratch with GitHub and
Right. And
Termscape.
I've got the project set up. I just can't get the Unreal icon and stuff to show up in the folder.
Okay. I'm gonna do that for these guys.
Okay.
So just message me on Discord and I'll let you know when I'm setting it up for these guys, and then you can just hang with me and then.
Cool. And I'll just get it all
Yeah.
tracked. Cool. Yeah.
Does that sound good?
Do that. Yeah. Cool. When do you plan to do that?
Soon.
Like this week or next week?
I can set it up whenever. It doesn't matter.
Okay. Today's your second day, right? So you're just getting into the
Yes.
game design.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do me a favor. Just message me on Discord and I'll set up something sooner so you can get your stuff.
Appreciate it.
All right. Cool. All right. Everybody caught up? We all good? All right. Do me a favor. Go into the Jolene animation directory and just click on an animation. Oh my God. What the? What the heck? All right. Somebody tell me what's going on here. Anybody know? I know it's kind of my job, but.
It's trying to map the animation.
Did she break her neck?
Yes.
Oh my.
If I had to take a guess, I'd say there's a vertebrae missing from this skeleton file.
Yes, we have a problem. All right, so you'll notice that she has all the same animations as the mannequin. However, they don't do a whole lot, except for she's kind of doing like a weird dab thing. So go ahead and close out of that. This is what we're going to do. Back in the animation folder, you will see, let's start with third person idle. We are going to replace these and swap them out for the animations that we downloaded from Mixamo. All right. So right click on third person idle, and there is a re-import with new file function. Go ahead and click that, and you're going to navigate to your directory with the files. Choose the one that you are re-importing over. I had chosen idle, and then click re-import. And then once you re-import it, you can double click on it and view it, and it should be doing the proper stuff.
That is so much better.
This one, the idle, right click it.
Who says you need next?
Re-import with new file, and then it's just a little type of idle. And then now it's going to be a different animation. The one where
Alright, there we go.
All right. So as you can probably guess, we are going to do some re-importing with the remainder of our files here. You have walking, running, jump start, and jump end as well. So go ahead and re-import all 4 of those over the corresponding animations. Let's start with walk. Right click on that, re-import with new file, pull in walking. Right click on run, re-import with new file, pull in running. Right click on jump start, re-import with new file, click jump start. Right click the jump end is actually
Just jump.
no, that is jump end. For whatever reason, that's just that. So you can actually rename that one if you want. The one that says third person jump is actually third person jump end. So you can rename that if you want. Third person underscore jump END. That is the jump end. I don't know why they haven't fixed that yet in here, but they just have. So the one that said third person jump, you can rename that to third person jump end. Okay? And then once you rename it, you can right click on it, re-import with new file, jump end. Did everybody catch that?
Yeah.
Alright, that's kind of the little weird thing, but
You can re-import it. This one is jump.
Should I change the file? You have to change the one that says third person jump to the jump coordinator. And then you have to change the
We haven't
coordinator.
downloaded that one yet, but apparently he's gonna post something that'll make it. We'll find it through the file.
And it's the one that you have downloaded. Let's start with the idle. No, not the green one. The one that's should say idle.
We can download the one instead. That's the one that's just working nicely and we can do nothing about it. We just stuck access forever.
alright. So if you double click on her now, you can see that we've got most of the animations in. We've got a jump end, third person idle, jump start, jump or run, and walk. We've got all the animations in. The only one we are missing is a jump loop. And what the jump loop is just a looping animation of her in the air, kind of moving and stuff. And since the problem is that when the character jumps up, the looping animation is a little tricky because it needs to end at the exact same pose of her in the air. And then, yeah, right. And then when she's in the air, like it needs to be from this pose and she needs to be like looping and moving around. We don't have this exact same animation. So what we're going to do is create it. And I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to create a very simple one. So in content here, where it says third person jump start, I want you to duplicate that animation. So just right click on it. And there is a duplicate function. Again, so we're duplicating the jump start in here. So right click, duplicate. And what I want you to do is just rename this one jump loop. Yeah, just rename it jump loop. And then go ahead and open that animation up. Go ahead and open up jump loop. And since jump loop was a duplicate of jump, it's going to be jumping. And all we're going to do is, the cool thing about the Unreal animation thing here is you can actually do quite a lot of editing in here. I'll show you how to do some more editing as we go through. But for right now, what I want you to do is go ahead and use the time slider at the bottom and scroll all the way to the end. So frame 13. So scroll all the way to the end with your little red rectangle there. And then what I want you to do is right click on that red rectangle and I want you to click remove frame 0 to frame 13. Remove frame 0 to frame 13. Alright, so now when we hit play, you'll see that she just kind of pauses in that pose. It's just a one frame animation at this point, which is what we want. Okay? And now up in the left-hand corner, there's a little save button. Go ahead and click save. Everybody with me?
Which one is frame 13?
All the way to the end. Slide the time slider all the way to the end. And then you right click on it and you want to, at the very top there's an option to delete all the frames from 0 to 13. So she just, the only frame that should be there is she just pausing in the air. Alright? Now click save in the upper left hand corner, and then you'll see jump loop over on the right. And what we're going to do is right click on that, and there is a export to FBX button. Export to FBX, and I want you to find that folder where all your animations were stored. Mine is under my name, under Jolene, and this one we're going to save as jump underscore loop, or jump loop. Alright, you're going to export this one as jump loop, and then just go ahead and click export. So what we've done is we've opened up the jump animation in Unreal, we've trimmed out all the animations except for the end frame, and now we have exported that. And now what we're going to do is, you can close out of that, we are going to find the jump loop, the third person jump loop, which is broken still. And we are going to right click on that, re-import with new file, and pull in the jump loop, which we just exported. Make sense? We just did a little bit of editing, and now we need to re-import that over the file that's actually being used. I moved kind of quick on that one, so I'll go again. So I'm going to find the third person jump loop here, right click on it, re-import with new file, just like we did all the others. And now we should have a jump loop file in there. You want to import that. Okay. I don't know how you have two.
You're going to delete the one that's just jump loop and keep the one that's third person.
Guys, I haven't said anything about deleting anything. I don't know. Are you all delete happy or something? Let me give you some advice. When it comes to computers, don't delete anything. Unless you're like dying for space. And when I say computers, I mean your phones too. I guarantee you, when you delete files, you're going to find that you need them later. It always happens. Does your third person jump loop do stuff? Okay, good. Alright, moving on. This is the last step in our process here, okay? I want you to go to, click on content. We are going to do a search for the search in the right, on the right next to filters. And I want you to type in the word third, and we are looking for the blue tabbed third person character. double click that. We're looking for the blue tab third person character. Now, all of our 2 programmers in here, hopefully we get some more. By the way, in the gaming industry, programming is the highest paid position. Did I mention that? And in most other industries, software engineers make a lot of money. So if you are on the fence about being a programmer, definitely give it a good look. There's some dollars in it. We all like money, right? Good. All right, so this is the what?
Do you, would a programmer end up looking at this sort of thing a lot?
This is called Blueprint, and what this is like Unreal's visual scripting programming language. And for our purposes in here in intro, we're going to use this. Okay, it's kind of a good way of learning how to program in like a simple way, and it's super powerful. Like you can literally make like Halo doing this, an entire game you can do in Blueprint. All right, so as you can see here, this is Blueprint. All it is nodes connected to other nodes, like this does this, then this does this, then does this, and then back to this. Got it? It's literally that simple. But we're not going to do any programming code today. So in the upper left, you'll see something that says Viewport tab. Click on the Viewport tab. And we see our mannequin here. Okay, this is the character that's being used in the game. We are going to swap it out with Jolie. What was that her name? Jolie? Jolene? I always forget it. All right, go ahead and select the character. Now on the right-hand side, you'll see where it says Mesh and Animation. Those are the 2 areas we're going to mess with. Let's start with Mesh. Click the drop-down. And what do you see in there that we can change to? Jolene. Right. Go ahead and click Miss Jolene. And you'll notice that she's not moving when you click her. We need to make her move, which is what animation is for. Alright, so our Use Animation Blueprint is already selected. Down in the drop-down, what do we see in there that we're going to use? That's correct. Jolene Anim BB, because we renamed it when we retargeted it. So when you click that, select the Jolene Anim BP from the Anim class. It's under Animation Blueprint. There's a drop-down. Change the Anim class for the blueprint to Jolene Anim BP. Look where my mouse is. Right here. Jolene Anim BP. If for whatever reason you did not rename it when I told you to, it would be called Third Person Anim BP. It's going to be one of those. Just choose the one that that makes her start moving. Because remember, we retargeted it from the original mannequin, and it was called Third Person Anim BP. Make sure above it that it says Use Animation Blueprint in the animation mode. And then in Anim class, you're looking for Jolene Anim BP. Or if you didn't rename it to Jolene, it's going to be called Third Person Anim BP. You should have 2 Third Person Anim BPs. It's going to be one of those. All right. Go ahead and click Compile up in the upper left. And we're going to close out of there. Save or compile, it doesn't matter. Alright, so now you should be able to click play, and it should be rocking and rolling as Jolene. She doesn't move around a whole lot with her jump loop, which is fine because we didn't do that animation, but everything else she should be doing.